If you are thinking about buying a new construction home in the Phoenix area, there are some really important things you need to know before you sign the contract or get too attached to that model home. From hidden fees to surprise delays and even ways to negotiate better deals, this video will help you to go in prepared. I'm Kody Romero, a local Phoenix realtor who helps people buy and build homes all across the valley. Most of my clients actually move to Phoenix from out of state, and as you know, Phoenix is a huge city, and it can really be difficult to narrow down the locations that might be right for you within the valley. To help with that, I've created a free Moving to Phoenix guide that covers all of our 30 cities and towns in the valley and their top neighborhoods to help you choose the right place for your lifestyle. Just click the link in the description or reach out to me and I'll send that right over to you. Now, let's dive into what most buyers don't realize about new construction. New builds are notorious for delays. Weather, permits, supply chain issues, or lender problems can push that closing date back. You should remain as flexible as you can with your moving timeline. If they tell you the home will be done in November, it could be more like January, or sometimes it ends up being even sooner than expected. Closing sooner than expected is usually a welcome surprise, but if you have a home that you need to sell first, then it can create a whole lot of stress to suddenly spring into action and get your current home listed and sold. Typically, you're going to get a very solid closing date 2 months or so ahead of time when most of the major items in the home have been completed, so delays are minimal. A few things to help this transition be less stressful is to negotiate a lease back when you sell your current home to give yourself a little bit of cushion. The buyer has to agree to this, but it can save you a lot of stress when moving. Or just use a short-term furnished rental for a few weeks and store your belongings so that you can stay flexible. This way you can close on your previous home and move right into your new home without trying to line up the closing dates perfectly, because sometimes that can be a mess. Builders advertise low base prices to get you in the door. You see their billboards saying homes starting at $400,000, and in most cases you can't find a home for less than $500,000 when you actually go into the community. Some of the extra costs you'll pay for are structural upgrades, design center upgrades, and lot premiums. A lot of people don't realize when you build a home, you have to pay for the land with the builder too. These are called lot premiums, and they can honestly vary widely. In a more basic neighborhood, if you're just building on an average size lot, it may only be a few $1,000s, or sometimes we can even get this premium waive. But if you want a lot with beautiful mountain views or a larger lot on the corner, these can cost you an arm and a leg in some areas. We can see them above $100,000 in many cases. Structural upgrades will be things like extending the garage, extending the patio, adding an optional room on, and those type of things that change the actual footprint of the home itself. And then you have the all-important design center upgrades. This is going to be after you pick the floor plan, the lot you want to build on, and the structural upgrades. You'll go to a design center where they have samples of all of the flooring, the cabinets, the light fixtures, cabinet handles, and 1,000 other things that never crossed your mind. These things will all be extras to upgrade. The base price of the home will come with everything in its basic form. The lowest level flooring, cabinets, countertops, and everything. Then you go through and choose what you'd like to have upgraded in the home, and as you choose things, the price goes up and up. Also remember, you'll be walking into a dirt lot, with the backyard being a blank canvas of literally just dirt. You can do basic landscaping with gravel and pavers, or you can go all out and build a pool depending on your budget and needs. But this is all going to be additional. Builders need buyers right now. At the time of this video in October 2025, Phoenix has officially shifted to a buyer's market for the first time in years. Builders have inventory sitting around, and there is so much competition in the valley that they have to be very aggressive with pricing and incentives. In today's market, the negotiating power is in your hands. The builder needs you more than you need them, and you can negotiate a lot more than you think. They'll say certain things are set in stone and black and white, but but we can usually adjust whatever is needed within reason. To give you an example, I recently had a builder who wanted a 20% earnest money deposit, which for my client's price range was $170,000. This was too much of an unexpected upfront cost for my client, so we walked away. And what do you know? The next day they called back asking what they could do to get the deal done. We ended up convincing them to allow just a 5% earnest money deposit for my client rather than the initial 20% they said was needed. The lot fee prices can also be very negotiable in most cases, along with incentives and closing costs. Honestly, basically everything is going to be negotiable. You just need to know how to approach the builders in the right way. There are two options when looking at new construction. You can go the traditional route and build from scratch. You'll pick your lot, floor plan, finishes, and upgrades and build exactly the home you want. Or you can buy what we call a spec home. This is a brand new home that's already built or nearly finished. You can move into these within 20 to 30 days typically, and this is going to be the best way to get the best deal available. These homes are completed and just sitting around, so the builder will heavily discount them to get them sold. You'll see them packed with incentives like interest rates that are 2 to 3% below the market rate, closing costs being covered, and discounted prices. And on top of it, we can negotiate these prices and discounts with pretty good success because the home is just sitting there. It's really going to depend on how busy the builder is at that time though. I had a client recently fall in love for a spec home listed for $800,000, and we ended up getting it under contract for $725,000 after some back and forth with the builder. So you can see the types of deals you can get with these spec homes that are just sitting around with the builder in today's market. The downside of a spec home is that you don't get to pick exactly what you want in the home. You can't choose your tile or cabinets or basically anything. Whatever the builder chose to build it with is what you're gonna get. So if you're looking for the best deal and you don't mind not having the ability to choose your exact finishes and lot, then this is a great option to save some money on a new home. Closing costs and lower interest rates aren't free gifts, they're marketing tools. The builders are looking around at the resale home prices in their area along with what other incentives builders nearby are offering. They want to make sure they are offering the most attractive incentives and pricing to get you to choose them over the other options. In many new development areas across Phoenix, there will be multiple builders in each area to choose from that are offering very similar floor plans and build quality. So in order to get you to buy with them rather than the other builder down the street, or even to convince you to buy a new home rather than a resale, the incentives can get pretty aggressive, which is great for buyers. What you want to avoid is walking into the first builder you stumble upon and thinking it's a smoking deal because they're offering a 4% interest rate and closing costs covered. Because the builder next door might be offering 3% interest rates and closing costs covered as well. And if you fall in love with a home from a builder that isn't offering the competitive interest rates, don't cross them off your list right away. We can always try telling them that we need them to match the incentives the other builder is offering, and in a buyer's market like we have today, they can usually get that done. Most new development communities here have what we call a CFD tax, especially if it's a larger master planned community. This is a special tax assessment that is passed on to new homeowners from the developer. This is used to help them pay for the infrastructure of the community, like sewer lines, water lines, power lines, and all of that necessary development when building a neighborhood. This is going to be added onto your yearly property taxes and is something a lot of people don't even know about before buying a new home. And this will add a few $100s per year to your tax bill, and it's going to last about 15 to 20 years in most cases. When you do sell your home eventually, you don't have to pay this off though. This can be passed on to the next owner. HOA fees are another more obvious one to be aware of. These can vary anywhere from, $60 a month all the way up to $200 a month in some cases if it's gated and they have more intricate amenities. Arizona limits HOA increases 20% a year unless voted on by members, and you'll often see the fees go up after a developer is done building in a community. Buying a new home doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. The builders and contractors make mistakes all the time, or even cut corners in some cases. I've seen issues like leaking gas meters, split trusses in the attic, or even HVAC systems not functioning or being connected properly. This is why I always suggest my clients get a full home inspection before closing on their new home. Yes, most issues are fixable under warranty even if you catch them 6 months after moving in, but it's better to catch them before closing so it doesn't inconvenience you or cause any further issues. If you're building a house from the ground up, I always suggest doing a pre-drywall inspection. This allows the inspector to see all of the connections, the plumbing, the venting, and really just get a great view of anything that would usually be hidden behind the drywall. And I have a great inspector that I can refer you to if you need one, and it's only about $400 to $500 depending on the size of the home. It's going to be well worth it. When you go to the design center, the upgrades will add up fast. You'll go into a huge warehouse with samples of flooring, cabinets, countertops, shower tile, and 1,000 other things that you need to choose from. And it's easy to get carried away here. You are building your dream home after all, so it's easy to say, well, what's $2,500 to upgrade the cabinets? And $1,000 to upgrade the carpet isn't that bad. And then all of a sudden, you get that final bill. Many people spend $40,000 and sometimes a lot more at the design center. Of course, this goes into the final price of the home, so you don't have to pay it up front, but still, that's a lot of money to add on to your purchase. To avoid overspending, you need to prepare for the design center. Go in with a budget cap and a priority list of what is most important to you. Maybe you're big into cooking, so having a fully upgraded kitchen is very important to you, but you almost never have guests over, so the guest bathroom can be more basic and you can save some money there. It's really easy to overspend here if you don't go in with a plan. So take a little bit of time, get a list together, and go into the design center prepared. Many Phoenix area new builds are naturally on the outskirts of the city where we have more space to build on. Goodyear, Buckeye, Surprise, Queen Creek, those types of locations. The community and area around you defines your lifestyle, and it honestly almost matters more than the home itself. If you love to go out to eat a couple times a week, but you buy a home in a development that's 25 minutes away from most restaurants, that is going to get old real quick. On the other hand, if you want an area that is more isolated, quiet, and peaceful, and 5 years down the line, the roads are expanding and there's a shopping center popping up next door, you aren't going to be happy. The point is, you need to do your research on how the area will change after you move there. What are the future plans? Will there be more schools built? Are the roadways going to be expanded to keep up with the growth? Will there be new shopping centers coming up in the area? These are things a lot of people overlook in the excitement, but it is going to affect your day-to-day life. I can help with this too, as I know a lot about the upcoming projects and plans in different areas, but it's good to do your own due diligence on this topic too to see what is important to you. I've kind of hinted at this throughout the video, but you should always use a real estate agent even when purchasing a brand new home. The builder sales representatives are very helpful, but they're representing the builder, not you. They're not going to advise you to do your multiple inspections. They won't negotiate for you, and they definitely won't tell you about the builder that's 2 blocks away offering way better prices and incentives. They only get paid if you buy with them. Your real estate agent, on the other hand, has no dog in the fight. They get paid with whoever you buy with. So they will be looking out for your interests and finding the best deal and home fit for you. And the best part about it is the builders will pay your agent's commission 99% of the time. There are basically 0 builders right now that aren't offering to do this. So you get your own representation for free in most cases. The best thing that a good agent will do is to know the different builders and developments in the area you're looking. Yes, the negotiating is great and advising on inspections is helpful, but an agent with good local knowledge will know about way more developments than you can find in a quick Google search. And this will ensure you aren't missing on the perfect neighborhood or builder option. I recently had a client want to buy a new home in Alora Vita in Peoria, and they fell in love with the particular model there. Before they signed, I told them to check out another development just 10 minutes north of there, and we found the exact same model for over $70,000 cheaper. They of course course decided to go that route. One more important thing to note about your real estate agent is that you'll need to bring them with you on your first visit to the community, otherwise the builders may refuse to pay for your representation. So start talking with the agent you want to use, hopefully that's me, before you start visiting the communities. Buying new construction can be an amazing experience. You get a brand new home customized to your taste, but if you don't know what to expect, it can also turn into a stressful one. Unforeseen delays, skipping an inspection because you didn't know what a pre-drywall inspection even was, or going to the design center unprepared and getting a $60,000 bill added onto your purchase. All of these things can be avoided. The key is being educated, and this video should help you with that. You don't do this every day after all, so how would you know what to expect? But luckily for you, I do this every day, and I know the best steps to take to make your experience smooth and as stress-free as possible. Now, I can't help you choose the right tile to match your furniture, but I can help you with the rest of it. If you're thinking about buying or building a new home anywhere in the Phoenix area, reach out. I can help you compare builders, find the best incentives, and make sure you don't overpay. And if you want to grab my free Moving to Phoenix guide to compare various areas in our huge city, just click the link in the description below and get your copy. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you at the next one.